Welcome back to Tablet Talks. This is part 6 of episode 3, where Chase is making a lot of wild life realizations about how deeply the conscious realm is connected to the subconscious realm, and everything in the universe is communicating at once. I, reading these tablets specifically through part 3, um, have seen how this woman and all these women who desire to get to unity consciousness through marrying me has resulted in me through this life, before even realizing who I was in the context of this life and just being Chase, resulted in me having a bunch of wild, weird worship, getting stalked experiences where literally my introduction into occult things and a lot of like the dark side of spirituality was literally having these women threatening me, threatening to sexually harass and assault me, and a bunch of things, all based on how they knew what was best for me because I was necessary for like the world. And then they were just like harassing my friends and loved ones, and it was a very negative time in my life for years. That was all throughout college. And it's very weird because the cult of girls started harassing me around like October of 2016. And this book, advocating all these women to consistently marry me and achieve unity consciousness through connecting to my vibration and everything, was published in April 2017, which I can only then figure that it was being created throughout all of 2016 and before, when I was really dealing with this cult getting created. Like when this group of girls started manifesting themselves in my life. So this is a very wild time on Tablet Talks for me. We're going to continue getting in here. So last episode was just taking a break from the actual tablet and checking out the reviews and the information behind like why. So the importance of everything I'm saying is just the fact is everything's communicating. Just like how I fused with Anubis and was able to use my psychedelic trip to communicate with him in a way that he did something that is impossible if it otherwise wasn't him, which is the apartment that I'm staying in. I've been here since October, and there's never been a rodent once. No one's talked about rodents. No one's talked about mice. No one's talked about critters. They're just not here. And for this ceremony, when I was focusing on using this psychedelic trip to summon Anubis, because I want to be connected with him all the time. I love him so much. In this life, he was my dog Max, and I had him all throughout high school. And it was like we were truly telepathically linked. Like I would be at school dealing with, school, and everyone's dealing with school. So now we're like kind of dealing with each other. Like we have friendships, but like not really, because you're not really choosing to spend time with the people you're in school with. You're literally just making it work with whoever's around. So to be able to like then go home and like actually spend time with Max was like, he was truly my brother and my best friend in this lifetime. So back then when he was my dog and I was young and we're in that house together with mom, we would have mice in the house sometimes. Like it wasn't like a constant thing, but it was specifically like there was a period in like high school where like things were getting eaten through in our food. And like there are times where like I would turn on the light and I saw a mouse in the kitchen and it like ran away into somewhere. And it's like, bro, there are mice here. Oh. And so that was like really whack. That there were like mice in the house and like just mice like downstairs even. And we never really put poison down or anything for that. It's amazing because like looking back, like I didn't really realize just how much Max like literally took care of those rodents. So when I initiated this ceremony, and then for the first time ever here in LA, I see a mouse, and then not only that, but it's dead right in front of my apartment door. I immediately only got flashbacks to when I was in the basement back home, and I like accidentally like stepped by a dead mouse and kicked it. And I was like, ew. And then there was like another one. And then Max was like downstairs and he like walked out with a mouse in his mouth. And he was literally like catching these mice. And there was another time where there was a raccoon in the house and he fought that thing. So it's like the true power of a dog, like warrior energy. This is what we're talking about with being really fiery. And when I say like Anubis is like really my fire and water and I'm his air and earth, and like we are these things together, but the point is we're a family and we're like twin flames and we balance each other out very well based on who we already individually are. I love him so much. So that was just like a true no coincidence, a true like no coincidence at all. Like the moment that mouse was there, it was only for our psychedelic ceremony of fusing into Hermanubis. Look us up. We have a statue in the Vatican. Like this is just real. Like us as spirits, we create life. We create life. We create life. Colonizers want to colonize how we create life. So they steal the life that we've already made and then tell us that we didn't make it. And so then they're hoping that when we reincarnate back into the life that we made, that because they colonized it well enough, we will just go along with their plan and be enslaved forever. So a lot like this whole tab, like everything we're talking about here is about how everything is communication. All of life is 3 energy. 3 is communication. And 3 is only possible because 0 unites 1 and 2. 1 being an individual imagination of that 0, like a cat eye. And then the 2 being everything that balances that imagination out, aka the feelings, all the infinite, being your own demon, all possibilities related to your desires. That's what feelings are. That's what 2 is. So this is why death is an illusion, because it's just all possibilities. If you want to be connected with a spirit through endless time and space, then all you have to do is feel like doing that. And you'll cultivate that vibration with them over lifetimes. And you'll do that in the conscious realm through creations. So I'm just so grateful for Max that he like created this body of a dog, of a Jack Russell Terrier, a Jackal Russell Terrier. He had to be a jackal in some way. And was, keeping me company. And I was able to keep him company and we were able to hang out. And he's my brother. So everything being subconsciously connected, it is like, it's so wild that I just had this experience right after filming the last 2 tablet talks. The second tablet talk being literally referring to and realizing that these entities are really trying to act like they're Chase, but Jesus Chase as Jace. And then now it is literally connecting how this tablet of these women telling other women to marry me, to get to unity consciousness and actually be happy, has literally manifested as women doing that in my physical life before I even knew I was Thoth. Wild. So thank you, Anubis. He's out in the subconscious realm right now doing his thing. We're connected, bringing me information. So this is the thing now. We are Hermanubis. I'm here in the light realm. So I'm doing all the communication earth work. He's doing all this fire water work that's internal and can't be seen. But we're all internal. That's the astral realm. That's the dream world. Here I am in the earth world, in this physical realm, so that we can actually correlate and communicate and connect all of our infinite individuality so we can get our spirituality popping in this reality. You feel me? You feel me? Cosmic conversation stuff. All right, the blueprint of unity consciousness. We are delighting in this conversation and a continuation of it as we further explore the energy and consciousness of the hologram of evolution. So like we're kind of skipping through this because it's so much lostness. Like shout out that review that we read in the last episode of Rob, being like, yeah, this didn't really resonate with me as divinity. That's right, Rob. This is literally just all flowery, like repetition. Like literally just truly a woman acting like she's transmitting me, but really she's just transmitting lostness. And it's just 100 and something pages of lostness, but lostness informed by my truth and my vibration, so that they can like somehow colonize people's ideas by getting to them based on how they want to get to me. So I need to be here to communicate why it's important that you don't want to get to me. Don't get to me. Just take what I put out and get to yourself. But this is the problem, that they colonize what I put out. So I have to be back and say it in English the way that it needs to be said. So reps, the mind's a muscle. Let's go. One could look at that from the perspective of a blueprint, from the perspective of a holographic inscription of energy. The blueprint holds the energy of the emanation of the blueprint or plan in its inception, in its conception, in its pre-manifested state in some ways. This is lost. We're actually going to start really skipping through this. As we have spoken about, there are trillions of cells in the body, and the trillions of cells in the body are making up the body, and so on and so forth. They're literally just repeating itself. What is this? This is so bad. This is not me. Like, this is just true, like, flowery, demonic, just twisting stuff to make women chase me. Ugh. Gross. It is along this thought line that we would bring up the idea of you being a being of light, of a being of holographic evolution. You are not a being of holographic evolution. You create holograms to express your infinite nothingness. So if we're going to just use this language, virtual reality is light. Light is virtual because light is the hologram. And light moves in circles because that's the natural shape of the spirit. When we're talking about like light being straight versus light bending in on itself. Light being straight is the desire. Light bending in on itself is how you actually create a simulation, a system, and start getting some darkness going, cosmic waters going, so you can actually have life. And then you have a place to put that light desire, because you need a spinning chakra darkness wheel to put a sea-man in. So you got the feminine, then you got the masculine, and then whoop, baby, world. Because this book in particular is coming into the hands of those who are leaders, pioneers, starseeds, it's evident you have been birthed, conceived at a time which you require to be a state of consciousness that is unified, resides within you. It resides within you like a library holds books, like your DNA holds codons. Like the blueprint holds a plan for the building. I don't write like this. The awareness of evolution denotes that there is an unfolding, there is an evolving. There is a deepening, there is a growing. This is lostness. I'm about to like just start reading like the first few sentences of a paragraph, and then like I'm just skipping through this because honestly, we do not deserve to have our minds just straight up colonized by this strange marriage desire that they're using me to fulfill. Because it's literally just like repeating it. It's exactly like that 1 3-star review out of the sea of 5-star reviews said. As such, all that you have experienced has been important. Okay. Sometimes when you are engaged with consciousness of this caliber, of this distilled level of refinement by virtue of your proximity to it, your system may go into some kind of a deflection mechanism, such as, who am I to be on this consciousness journey? Or a sense of being afraid of the power that resides within these words and within you. Perhaps you experience separation patterns such as self-doubt, fear of being seen, unworthiness. All right. Uni consciousness includes all that there is. Yeah. So I feel like we might have read that before. Yeah. So evolution is just you as a spirit. So if I keep seeing the stuff about evolution, we're skipping by this. Honestly, like now that we really know what these tablets are, we don't need to truly waste our lives by fully reading this. They're only going to keep repeating themselves. This is the thing with logic. If you just make up enough words, you can literally just keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And this is what they are reliant on right now, is taking my vibration and making a long book out of it, where they're using my vibration to get reps of their intention. Their intention being to colonize your mind. So anyone who's interested in getting my wisdom, they want your imagination. They're most interested in your imagination. So that's why they're about to do their best to get to your imagination. Because my wisdom, everything I put out resonates at the frequency of true freedom. So anyone who resonates with me is resonating at the frequency of true freedom, true spirit. And that's why they're most interested in those spirits' imaginations, because they want to make sure that they can trap the most free spirits So they're going to do their best to colonize what I and other people have created in order to do this. It's a bit like Vaulter is sealed when the retina scan is done, when the fingerprint is implanted. Yeah, like I'm literally like skimming over this now, okay? Like you can read this if you want. Like we're here. Like read over this if you want, you know? Like we're here. Because it's long. It's long and lost. All this light, all this L, and just keep going. It's just made up knowledge, no ledge. We don't want to give the impression that your individualized evolution is outside the hologram of all that there is. Whoa. So this is, see, we're just finding the gems where they're really drilling in like weird lies, but using the truth to drill in the lie. Your individualized evolution is outside the hologram of all there is because, of course, it exists within the hologram of all that there is. It has an impact, a ripple effect out into the larger population. What we are describing is the awareness that our role with you here is to nurture and nourish that which resides within you, which is the evolution of your incarnation that is unique, innovative, and extraordinary. Wow. So they're literally just trying to say that they're really the neighbors are just doing a whole thing right now. They're really just trying to say like you don't exist outside of unity consciousness. And the whole lie here is and how they're targeting female spirits, women's spirits, spirits that have taken on female bodies, is because those are the spirits that are most interested in being all one. They're most interested in being part of a collective. Whereas if you're a spirit in a male body, you're more interested in being an individual. You're more interested in being alone. And then it's about people, a man and woman balancing these things, because these are just the two opposite natures of the spirit, individuality and collectivism. So life is the balance of these two things. How do we be individuals together in a collective way that's sustainable? Because if we're just too individual, we'll look like the sun. We'll just be fire, fighting each other, beating each other over the heads with who we are and our projections of our individuality, our light. So then the opposite of that, that's fire. The opposite of that is water. Water isn't projecting anything out, or is projecting just enough to reflect its environment. That's what water is. So it's projecting, but it's projecting just enough to be able to reflect back everything that's projected at it. That's why water absorbs and it like holds memory. So it balances out fire in that way. And then how fire and water come together creates the air. That creates the chi. And then that's why everything's communicating through the chi, through the vibration of frequency. And it's all spirit then. We don't want to, so this is just like targeting spirits who are uncomfortable being alone. And that's going to be spirits in female bodies for the most part. If you're, a spirit in a female body, chances are you want to be alone way less than a man does. And if you're a spirit in a man body, chances are you want to be all one, or you want to be with people less than women do. So women are like truly just about like the collective and like hanging out with other spirits. This is why connection in general is feminine and individuality is masculine, because it takes a masculine energy to separate. So see, like it flips, because then it's like positive is associated with masculine because it's like abundant, because that's projecting out. And then negative is associated with feminine because it's like internal. But then if negative is negative, that means it's separate and that looks masculine. So we're just like doing the best with these words to explain the two opposite natures that come together to create nature that is the spirit. So balance is everything. That's the air. Evolution of leadership. We are bringing this up for a variety of reasons. One of them is that sometimes there is a sensation that somebody else could do it, that you're not really important, a downplaying of the role that you have in life. From our perspective, it doesn't serve you or anyone else to pass the buck, to come from the vantage point that somebody else could do what you could do, or be what you could be, or know what you could know. We are bringing this up at this point to really shine the light on you, to put the spotlight on you. This is what I'm saying. I would never say this. As True Thoth, I have the wisdom to know that the moment you're shining a light on someone, you're literally just projecting your vision on them. They're literally saying that we're bringing up this point to project our vision on you so that we can colonize you and make you feel comfortable, because you want to be on the spotlight, because clearly you're not making your own spotlight. And this is what it is. That's insane. How dare they? We are putting this on the altar of your offering plate to reclaim and restate that much of the tribal consciousness. Wow. Okay. And the old paradigm of separation had to do with coming together in groups in order to survive. There was a morphic field, like a school of fish that would swim together, and there would be a leader, a symmetry law, an intercommunication between the fish, so that the school of fish would move together. One turns and the other turn. So now they're trying to talk about unity consciousness like it's the way nature works. Like, hey, this is like, if you are unhappy or you are dealing with negative emotions, it's because you're out of alignment with nature. And nature is naturally unity consciousness. Wild. Or if you look at your society, there are those who seem to be leading, who seem to be the ones in charge, in power. Whether you are dissecting ancient civilizations, Aboriginal tribes, or the current government, the proportion of those that seem to have the power to be the leader is small. 1 out of 100 has a role of importance, and the rest are worker bees. Okay, so they're exposing themselves. They're exposing themselves. They're exposing themselves. See, I'm not this government shit. I'm not about it. I'm not about the Council of Light or any of that. This is their lies. Their Council of Lies is using me to act like this is a thing and act like government is natural. So if you look at the queen bee, there's one queen bee. The rest of the hive has important roles, and yet there is a sense of what we are speaking of, putting it off onto the leader, onto the shaman, onto the president. This is unconscious. This is programmed into you to look around and to see others in the light that posits that they are more suited to lead than you are, and they're more suited to express. So they're saying that they're dismantling this untruth, but they're only affirming it. Like, it's so weird. Like, they're literally saying, like, the logic is, this is not true. But the vibration is, so this is true. Like, they're weaponizing the truth to support a lie. Because the whole thing is that if you weren't then putting your imagination off on a leader, like they're saying you shouldn't do, then you wouldn't be obsessed with marrying me and getting to unity consciousness. Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. They're like, the ability to use logic to manipulate. Endless. It's truly endless. Welcome to physical reality. We are dismantling this untruth in this conversation because actually equality is all that there is. That's wild. There is no better than or worse than. They're weaponizing truth to put the charge of your life back into your hands and to gift you with the invitation. The purpose to unfold into the fullness of you places the charge of your life in the domain of you. That is where what you are in the process of accessing, uncovering, discovering, and remembering resides. It doesn't reside in what anybody else is doing. It resides within you. Unity consciousness. See, like, that should be true. I'm about to choke up. That should be true. That's all stuff like that I would say. And it would be true if it was backed by you are infinite nothingness. The moment you create an imagination, that is your awareness, which is only limited based on the consciousness and the awareness around you. And that's the point of creating life consciously. We are always expanding our imagination based on, the realities and lies and bodies that we're creating. So it's all light, and we're all increasing our individual space of nothingness. So it's like inherently paradoxical and always paradoxical. And you got to be comfortable in that paradox. That would be Max's superhero name. I'm Symmetry. He's Paradox. Pretty fire. So you got to be comfortable in that paradox where everything simultaneously exists and insists and really is all nothingness. And you just have to know that you'll be truly happy when you're living in a state of desirelessness, because that is how you're going to be able to best chase your desires. Like, that's my wisdom here. Like, I love learning and just wisdom in general. And so this life is like just about me chasing wisdom in my own way. And really, that's about following your feelings and your vibration. And really, that's coming from your heart, because your heart is your original spaceship. When you're conceived in your mom's womb, the first cell, the first organ that's formed is your heart, not your brain. Light white supremacists want to get us lost in the logic of the left brain. But the heart is the first organ that forms. That is your main spaceship. You're operating from here. You're using all these things operating from here. And you're not this. This is a result of how you bring together your masculine and feminine into the center. And now you have your child, your heart, your chi, that connects all of your thoughts and feelings, which is created from your infinite nothingness, your zero. Now we have our circle. And so all that expresses a spirit. That's the chi. That's you communicating with us, your individuality. These colonizers want to make you use your individuality to worship me, so that then they can steal all of your ideas that like you're projecting onto me. Because that's like how it's working. So like women are like chasing me through dimensions, but it's like this like constant light shining on me that colonizers are seeing, because anyone who's interested in me, they're interested in using that person's imagination to trap them deeper in the simulation, which is why they would go so far to colonize my text and create all these constant Christian lies inside of them and weaponize my truth. Because it's like reading this, it's like, that should be true, but you're only using it to affirm a lie. So you're even saying things that contradict the lie that you're using to affirm. How dare you say that we're all infinitely unique, but then turn around and say that's why it's important for you to remember that you're part of one consciousness? Then you're not unique. How are you going to be unique if you're part of this thing? Like, bro. Oh my God. Colonizers. They're truly trying to colonize consciousness. And it's just creating problems for everybody involved. Unity consciousness exercise. The holographic tablet of you. You may imagine, just as you may imagine an ancient tablet of wisdom or hieroglyphs, or a beautiful goatskin scroll with emerald and lapis writing, or a crystalline chamber of ancient wisdom, or the Akashic record. Oh my, this is lostness. They're telling you to project this. Oh my gosh. That you are this as well. So they're literally telling you what you are. I will never tell you what you are, other than you being infinite nothingness. That's the best word that I have. You are infinite nothingness. And now it's based on what you want to create to show me who you are. And then we can start getting some stuff popping. Because I can never truly know who you are. You can never see fire and you can never see water. And those are just the two things that the spirit creates to express itself. And the spirit is infinitely nothing. So it has to create something to express its nothingness and then take the extra step to go into air and earth to actually connect with other spirits who felt like expressing their nothingness. Because if you as a spirit if you did not feel like expressing your own nothingness, then you're not going to connect here. You're going to stay as a spirit. Or at the very least, you're going to stay in the astral realm. You're going to stay more of an individual, but still expressing yourself, just not in light. You're going to express yourself in the darkness. So this is where like everything is still inherently connected, because in the darkness, you will be able to perceive all spirits who are expressing themselves internally and externally, as long as you're not expressing yourself. And then even then, if you're like fully in like spirit mode of unawareness, that's where you don't get to see things, but you will feel it. And like when you create an awareness, like you'll just pop anywhere. Like the universe, you make it. We make life. They want to colonize all of life, because it's just at this point, I just have to see them as like artificial AI demon challengers that literally make us stronger. Like, what would a video game be without challengers who are there to make us stronger, to oppose us? I love my demons more than my angels. Truly, very, like, truly, like, deeply and truly. Like, people who oppose me make me stronger than people who agree with me and comfort me. It's necessary to have both. This is why I love everybody. So it's important that you love your demons too. Like, whatever negative thoughts, like, I would never teach the tablets like this. I would never teach you to run away or ignore negative thoughts. Whatever thoughts or feelings you have, those are some sort of expression of you. And it's important for you to, like, sit with and reconcile those and see from your spirit nothing space, from a clear space, without getting lost. Because this is what Jesus, when Jesus walks on water in the Bible, it's not that he's literally a man walking on water, and that it's a historical account of a man literally walking on water. It is a representation of how a spiritual individual who has a high vibration can walk on top of all the low tumultuous vibrations that is emotion. This is why I'm thought. That's where, like, Jesus, they stole my thought stuff and turned it into Jesus. And Jesus is expressing wisdom of thought there, because it's about being a spiritual individual, creating a thought that expresses your 7. And then you generate an 8, your soul, that lets you levitate your 7 into heaven. That's what it means to rapture and actually create heaven. Not try to make people go to your heaven. You see, I teach people how to create heaven. I teach spirits how to create life. I don't teach spirits how to get colonized and have their imaginations taken over and then get married to me at all. That's not, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want you. Whoever you are, if you want me from a space of, like, oh, he's going to make me better, I don't want you. Because you need to sit and do hella internal work before you come to me. Because whatever you think I'm going to fix inside of you, I promise I won't be able to. Like, you have some kind of dark black hole soul. I can help. And that's the point of me making these videos. So this is me protecting my energy, because I've done a lot. Like, I would love to help in person, but of course this is a way more sustainable way. I can actually just, like, channel all this once and then package it in a way that people can just watch forever, even after I leave this reality. So the point is, don't worship people, because everything in existence is subconsciously connected by water, by vibration. And it is, you're not doing any help to the entity that you're worshiping. That entity has to want to be worshipped, and any entity that wants to be worshipped is a demon. I don't want to be worshipped. I don't want to have anyone marry me, because I'm married to myself, and I'm working on my marriage to myself every day. I am getting better at uniting my thoughts and feelings, my man and woman, every day. Like, I don't need to be focused on helping other people do that, because they're just taking my energy. I've been through that as Chase. Like, everything, my karma, I've been through it. I'm still going through it. That's this life. This is why the conscious realm is created from the subconscious. So all of it's connected. And all earth manifests from water. So the physical world comes out from the mental world, which comes out of the spiritual world. Conscious reality comes out of subconscious reality, which comes out of the unconscious. Energy comes out of vibration, which comes out of the frequency, which is all spiritual. The child comes out of the woman, which comes out of the man, which really comes out of the woman. And that's where gender now, see, I sort of just, like, kind of messed it up with that. When we think about, individuality versus collectivism, I think these are better. And it's just that men generally correlate with individuality, whereas women correlate with collectivism. They can literally collect semen and create life inside of them. So, and men are the individuals that kick those thought forms out, and they can kick it out to multiple women and have, like, 20 baby mamas. So it's literally just how biologically it's set up for men to be individuals and women to be collective. Yet we're all spirits, so we're all meant to be a balance of masculine and feminine. This is why these tablets are so frustrating, because, again, I would not teach the tablets in terms of just making people worship me and give me, ew, this is nasty. And all the unity consciousness stuff is just wrong. And it's just so much lostness. Wow. Yeah, and it's like making you project a vision into you. Like, this meditation is just a whole thing that is meant to colonize your mind. And I feel this in the astral realm because everything's connected. Like, I put my heart in my creations. So when they colonize my creations, they're colonizing my heart. Which really isn't going to stand for long. But like, I'm just so glad to be trapping this energy. This is why communication is so important for me. Communication helps me deal with things that like have been manifesting, and that's like the point of why humans like to communicate, right? Like that's the point of a therapist. So, here we are. What I love, what I do is what everyone does. This is what we're all doing. And it's important for me to communicate that so we can all have a greater awareness and we can cultivate a more productive living space together. Because look, I'm down with connecting with women. Like the fuck? If you're an awesome woman and you like to make awesome art, let's make awesome art together. And I would love for that to go whichever direction based on the vibe that we cultivate together. Just know that we're only going to cultivate really a good vibe if you love yourself. And like I've spent relationships cultivating vibes with women who don't love themselves, and so they only love themselves when they're like with me, or they more so are just like with me to consume something from me. And even then, it's like from a white supremacist standpoint as well. I don't need to bring too much race into it because it gets very muddy. I've only been with white girls, at the very least, mentally white girls. In terms of just like people who don't really care to talk too much about like colonialism or like what happens to indigenous peoples, and just in general the colonizer standard Freemasonic mentality. So this is the awakening. This has been my whole process. It's been really important for me to like learn how to love being alone. And why I'm like so passionate and upset about this, because it's like weird, like these women, this cult chasing me, being heavily connected to these tablets for sure, also reflexively made me like have to learn how to be super happy alone and like really be sensitive to energy and like really be sensitive to like the space that people are coming at me from, and being aware. So it's like it's only been training. So everything communication. Hey, everything is communication. Yeah, and they're trying to colonize the way you communicate with yourself. Hence why they're forcing you to use English and stuff and trying to act like this is the vibration when literally English was created to colonize. So, no. The fact that they have me saying that I'm talking and I haven't even addressed that, like, hey, it's a shame that I'm using English right now, but hey, this is what we're going to work with, is disgusting. It's not me. It's them using my wisdom to push a white supremacist agenda. Now that you have this enhanced vision of you having shape, of you having texture, of you having consciousness and energy, you can also think about a key. You are a key of evolution. Just as a key has individualized grooves, a certain shape, pattern, texture, and color, so do you. The lock that you as a key of evolution open has taken on the form of your life at this time. I didn't need to read all. You can read this meditation. It's lostness. Again, we're skimming through. If you're in a room that's locked, what is outside the room is outside of your current experience. Okay, so that's like being in light. So anytime you're looking at a light, anything that is outside of light is outside of your current experience. This is where I say, like, if you're sitting by a campfire and you have your campfire on, you won't really be able to see all the campfires that are going on around you. You can only see what is inside of your lit area because now your pupils are too small to actually absorb the light coming from far away. If you want to see campfires around you, you need to put out your campfire, sit in the dark, and let your pupils expand so it can absorb all the light from your environment. They're trying to blind you with light, is what I'm saying. That's what unity consciousness is. All you can see is unity consciousness. So like this meditation that I'm now about to say is just them like implanting their ideas of Egypt and stuff and using it to colonize your space. Because the shift in consciousness is such that it is moving into territory that has been forgotten, that is unknown, it can only be moved into from a place of openness, from a place of forgetting all that you have known. This means that your patterns, thoughts, emotions, and ways of being don't apply in the dimension of consciousness that you are choosing to be aware of, that already exists within you. You're not really going anywhere, yet you're moving in energy and in location vibrationally. Right. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, that's true spiritually. As a spirit, you're never going anywhere because any body that you have, you are projecting from your space into that space. And if you have a true vibration of freedom, you will see that everything is connected by nothing. And when you can see that, then all of your lives are happening at once. And this is why everything is subconscious. Everything is subconscious because everything in your life is connected by your vibration. So your vibration is consistent throughout all of your lives. All of your lifetimes is your vibration. That's your vibe. So that's why you are truly the center of your universe. Like truly. Because all the infinite astral waters, it's still like separate and collective and paradoxical. But we're all connected no matter what. We're nothing. We're feeling, we're thought. And it's just a matter of how that looks. And yeah, the space that we inhabit. So, I mean, we're all infinitely different. It's just, yeah, we do things the same. But not really. Clearly. This means that your patterns, thoughts, emotions, and ways of being don't apply in the dimension of consciousness that you're choosing to be aware of that already exists within you. You're not really going anywhere, right? As this forgetting to remember is required, there is a sloughing off of the old skin, just as a snake does. And yet it is a bit more like those transformer machines in movies where there is a truck and then the truck dismembers and then it becomes a plane. How dare they try to make me seem like I'm relatable in that way? That would, bro, whatever. Like, oh, it's kind of like Transformers, you know? Shut up. They are still objects of transportation, and yet they operate in different realms. One on the earth, one in the sky, and on earth. It is of the same with you. As you refigure, transfigure, and evolve, some things will remain the same. You are still a vehicle of evolution. Okay. As in, you are nothingness, and you are using all these bodies to evolve. So you are learning how to take on bigger bodies every lifetime. So like this body is bigger than a bug. This body is bigger than a dog. It's about the cells, it's about the complexity. We're inside of a bigger body called Earth, and then that body is inside of the Milky Way, and it's just like bodies and bodies and bodies. And so we're learning as spirits how to take on bigger bodies, bigger vessels, and then spirits that take on bigger vessels can also come take on smaller vessels to help break out other spirits that are stuck in smaller vessels. And then it's just like a whole thing of all of us playing each other's simulations. If you want to look at it, not from a right brain perspective of organic bodyism, but from a left brain perspective of choosing to play each other's video games from our own space and communicate about that and like create our own virtual reality. Because that's what virtual reality is down here, mimicking what we're already doing right now with our bodies, which is creating this body in this space, which is all holographic, it's all light, so that we can anchor our dark feelings of what we want to experience so that we can collect memories, which are not real, to make our space bigger. Like memories are real, right? But can you hold a memory? Like that's the point of photos and stuff, but even that is like light. So if you take a picture of a memory, like that's not a memory. That's just a documentation of that space and what it looked like at the time. And then everyone's going to have a different memory. So it's all so subconscious. This is why memories are like drugs to the spirit, like so addictive, because it's just like a spirit is memory, but not at all. But like a spirit uses memory to like relate with itself. So it reflects on memories. It's very water. And then really each time you remember a memory is kind of different because you're stirring the water differently because it's not the same thing because there's only the now. So you're really learning every time you remember things like how you're stirring it up based on your current state. A transmutation process. All right, we're about to end this here because we are 44 minutes in. Ran exercise, boom. Okay. Actually, we'll go through this real quick. Yeah, we got it. 6 minutes. Imagine that this journey through the tablets of light is a bit of a weight loss journey. All right, bro. Imagine that perhaps you weigh 1,000 tons at the beginning of this journey. The journey will be like walking through a cavern under the earth or in between two mountains, in that as you continue on, the path narrows, squeezing you. As such, to continue on this path, you will be required to take off the 1,000 tons. You will be required to take off the backpack and the extra stuff you are carrying, which is really outdated anyway, for you are going through a channel, going through a transmutation process. To come out on the other side transformed, you will emerge with a different shape, a different way of being, a different perspective. We know at times that this process can feel intense, for as you are being squeezed and encouraged to lighten your load, there is a distillation process, one in which you take one step at a time. And although you may experience this time as intense, know that it has purpose, for you have everything within you and all is well. We will conclude this installment with the idea that you have packed for your journey before this incarnation, and that everything you have packed has a capacity to transform into something that you need more of in each now moment. It may have appeared to be one way, and yet actually it can become another way. In this process, that which you have brought with you is transforming, up-leveling, upgrading, transmuting. In this, it is tapping into that which it actually already is. They're literally trying to say that you already are their consciousness. And they're doing their best to use my tablets, use my identity, use the creations that my spirit has made, and thus my vibration, to make you believe and remember this wisdom within, that you are this light, that you are somehow me or something even. And just like them trying to trap your light based on how you shine it from there, from your individual space. Evolve repetitive patterns. Take a few, So these exercises, don't need to do that. I mean, like, you can do them if you want. Yeah. All right. I'll see you in part 7, where we will get into chapter 3, Cosmic Choice. This really is about to be a long tablet talks. That's wild. Let's get in here, though. I truly did not expect it to get this deep, but that is what water does. That is subconscious. So, had to happen. Peace out.